Hello everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to Garber Forensics Night 2021. My name is Carly. I am the head coach of forensics at Kramer Junior High and Garber High School, and I have been helping out with this program since I graduated back in 2017. I also did forensics all 4 years of high school, and this just means so much to me. I have really found a love for creating and for collaborating through this platform. The 6 talented students that you'll see performing tonight include members of our 2020 team, whose season was cut short for obvious reasons. The same obvious reasons why this year we couldn't do any group events, we could only do solo events, and the state tournament that will be taking place tomorrow and Saturday will not be happening at Eastern Michigan with hundreds of theater kids like it was planned, but instead it will be happening online. We have done one other online tournament this year at our regional, and everything went really, really well. There was no hiccups. It was definitely weird, but it was just amazing to see the students back in their element and jumping on this opportunity to perform and to grow. Our forensics night is usually more of a dress rehearsal for the students to see each other perform and for friends and family to see them perform before they go to their competition. But I've had this idea for a while to use this night as a fundraiser. So if the pandemic wasn't lingering and looming, I'd probably just put everyone on stage and sell you tickets, but we have to adapt. This year's about adapting, and that's what we're doing. We're being creative. The 6 pieces that you'll see tonight are all 5 to 8 minutes in length. They are monologues, and the filming was done in one-on-one slots with me and my assistant coach. That's how we did our rehearsals as well. All of the students had a hand in selecting and editing their pieces, and I am just crazy, crazy excited to share their talent with you. Before we jump in, I just want to emphasize that this is our forensics night, but it's also our fundraiser. So since I can't sell you a ticket, please consider checking out our GoFundMe page. It's going to be linked above or below me somewhere. And just know that we are a self-funded program. We have been for the past 20 plus years, but charging students and their families to participate in an event like this and a time like this just didn't sit right with me. So any contribution that you're willing to give to cover the cost of our regional and our state tournament fees for this season is just so greatly appreciated and welcome, and a million times over, Garber Theater Department thanks you for that. So without further ado, check out that link, and here we go. First up, we have senior Alex KULMACZ, who will be competing in storytelling. Storytelling is a category where you have to select a piece that is 5 to 8 minutes long from children's literature. Alex will be performing The Tickly Octopus by Ruth Galloway.
Judge and timer ready?
Yes.
Thank you. Down in the ocean, among the swirling seaweed and colorful coral, lived a tickly octopus. He had 8 twisty, twirly arms, and he loved to use them to tickle. When octopus tickled the little fish, they jumped and jiggled and wriggled and giggled. They thought tickling was tons of fun, but most of the fish found his tickling tiresome. Octopus tickled Sea Star and made her squirm. Stop it! She squeaked. Octopus tickled Clickety-Clackety Crab, and Crab tripped and tumbled into the sand. Whoa, hey, stop it! No, quit! Out! Go away! He snapped. Oh, but I'm a tickly octopus, and I'm really good at tickling, Octopus said sadly, and he swam off to tickle the wriggly-giggly fish again. Sometimes old habits die hard. It can be difficult giving up something you've done for such a long time. When I was a kid, I used to just interrupt conversations and talk about whatever popped into my mind. Didn't matter what we were talking about. It could have been anything. My favorite bird, cool cereal that I had tried, my rank into the Madagascar movies, anything. And I learned that even though I enjoyed talking about these things, people didn't necessarily want to hear me talk about them 24/7. So I learned to listen to the conversation and talk about things when appropriate. And in doing so, I learned a bit about myself along the way and was all the better for it afterwards. which is not too unlike the main character in this story. This is the story of an octopus who loves to tickle, and when his tickling gets him into some trouble, he'll go on a grand journey across the ocean and learn a bit about himself along the way. A story of swimming, starfish, and self-discovery. The Tickly Octopus by Ruth Galloway. One day, Octopus saw Oyster snoozing among the seashells. He couldn't resist but giving her one teeny tiny tickle. Whoa! But Oyster woke with a jump and dropped her precious pearl. Bing, bip, boing, bing, wow! Oyster's pearl bounced over the rocks and was swept away by the current. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Oh no, said Octopus. Oyster was very upset. I'm sorry. I'll get back for you. Whoosh! Octopus raced through the water with a whoosh and a swoosh. Wow, he said. I never knew I could be so super speedy. Octopus followed the pearl to the bottom of the sea. Wow, he said. I never knew I could swim so deep. At last, Octopus had reached the pearl at the bottom of the sea. But just then, achoo! Bing! Bing! Boing! Wow! Oyster's pearl bounced over the rocks and fell in between a small gap in the ocean floor. Octopus squished, squashed, heaved, and squeezed, and managed to push himself to the other side of the gap. Wow, he said. I never knew I could be so super squishy. There, glinting in the darkness, was the smooth and shiny pearl. But just behind it was a fierce eel. Yikes! Squealed Octopus. He quickly grabbed the pearl and sped away. Give me that pearl! Octopus huffed and puffed as the eel chased him. He had been swimming all day and he was very tired. The eel was getting closer and closer. With a spurt and a squirt, a belch and a squelch, Octopus sprayed a cloud of black ink. The eel couldn't see a thing. I can't see a thing! Wow, said Octopus. I never knew I could be so inky. And Octopus happily danced his way back to Oyster. Oyster was very excited to get her pearl back. I promise I won't ever tickle you again, said Octopus. I've learned a lot about myself today. From now on, I'm going to be a speedy, deep-sea, squishy, inky octopus. But I'll still be a little tickly too. Ding!
Now we have sophomore Chelsea List, who is performing in the prose category. Prose is a 5 to 8 minute cut from any book. It could be anything from a young adult novel to a memoir, even scripture. Chelsea will be performing The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold.
Judging timer ready?
Yes.
Thank you. Leah Fox, Delaware, 1969, 12. On a slip-covered couch under a highway ramp, he murdered her. Wendy Richter, Connecticut, 1971, 13. She was waiting for her father outside a bar when he raped her, then strangled her. My name was Salmon, like the fish. First name Susie. I was 14 when I was murdered on December 6, 1973. My murderer was a man who lived in my own neighborhood. It was still back when people believed things like that didn't happen. From a young age, women are always taught to protect ourselves. We are told to keep our guard up every day, having to be hyper aware of our situations, like walking home at night or being alone at work. But sometimes we slip, and when we slip, we can become part of a deadly statistic. Anne-Marie Grace is a psychologist that works with females who've escaped these dangerous situations and have come to her. She writes that 1 out of every 5 girls will be kidnapped, raped, or murdered before they even turn 18. In this story, we will follow Susie Salmon as her soul and those she left behind deal with her tragic death. Susie's story reminds us, though our lives all have tragedy, we are not responsible for the pain others cause us. The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. But on December 6, 1973, it was snowing and I took a shortcut through the cornfield by the junior high. It was dark out because the days were shorter in winter and the snow was falling lightly like a flurry of small hands, and I was breathing through my nose at first until it was running so much I had to open my mouth. 6 feet from where Mr. Harvey stood, I stuck out my tongue to taste the snowflake. Don't let me startle you. You're the older salmon girl, right? I've built something back here. Would you like to see? I'm sort of cold, Mr. Harvey, and my mom likes me home before dark. It's after dark, Susie. Mr. Harvey said it would only take a minute, so I followed him a little further into the cornfield. I've built a little hiding place. I don't see anything. His glasses were small and round with gold frames, and his eyes looked out over them at me. You should be more observant, Susie. What's that? I asked. It's wood. Keeps the entrance from collapsing. Other than that, it's all made out of earth. Come and see. It was awkward to get into, that much he admitted once we were both inside, but I was so amazed by it all, getting out wasn't even on my mind. This is neato. I can still picture the hole like it was yesterday. And it was. Life is a perpetual yesterday for me. It was the size of a small room, and I could almost stand up in it, but Mr. Harvey had to stoop. Look around. I did in amazement. Mr. Harvey offered me a refreshment. That's how he put it. I said I had to go home. Be polite and have a Coke. I'm sure the other kids would. What other kids? I built this for the kids in the neighborhood. Thought it could be some sort of clubhouse. I don't think I believed this, even then. I imagined he was lonely. We had read about men like him in health class, men who never married, ate frozen meals every night, and were so afraid of rejection that they didn't even own pets. I felt sorry for him. Okay, I'll have a Coke. You're very pretty, Susie. Thanks. Do you have a boyfriend? No, Mr. Harvey. I gotta go, Mr. Harvey. This place is cool, but I have to go. I don't know why you think you're leaving. I fought hard. I fought as hard as I could to not let Mr. Harvey hurt me, but my as hard as I could wasn't hard enough. Not even close. And I was lying down on the ground, in the ground with him on top of me, panting and sweating, having lost his glasses in the struggle. I was so alive then, I thought it was the worst thing in the world to be lying flat on my back with a sweating man on top of me, to be trapped inside the earth and have no one know where I was. I thought of my family. My mother would be checking the clock on the oven. She would be worried, but more mad than worried by my lateness. Don't, Mr. Harvey, I managed. And I kept saying that one word a lot. Don't, please, I said. Don't, I said. Sometimes I combined them. Please don't, or don't, please. But he grew tired of hearing me plead. As he kissed his wet lips down my face and neck, I wept. I began to leave my body. I began to inhabit the air. In the silence, I felt huge and bloated. He had done this thing to me, and for a moment, I had lived. That was all. I was still breathing. animal already dying. I could not move, I could not get up, and when I wouldn't, he leaned and fell over his head across the ledge where his razor and shaving cream sat. He brought back a knife, unsheathed, and smiled at me, curving up in a grin. "Tell me you love me." Gently, I did. The end came anyway. The dead are never exactly seen by the living, but many seem acutely aware of something around them changed. They speak of a chill in the air. By the time I popped up, with enough wherewithal to look down on the going-ons of earth, I was more concerned with my family than anything. My mother sat on a hard chair by the front door with her mouth open, her pale face paler than I had ever seen it, her blue eyes staring. My father was driven into motion. He wanted to know details and to comb the cornfield along with the cops. Leah Fox, Delaware, 1969, 12. Wendy Richter, Connecticut, 1971, 13. I was added to this list. I now saw that floating town of graves where the murder victims went in the minds of the living. I saw his other victims as they occupied his house, those trace memories left behind before they fled this earth. This wide, wide heaven is about flathead nails and new leaves and escaped marbles that fall, then hang, then show you somewhere you never could have imagined in your small heaven dreams. Almost grown up, but not quite. My name was Salmon, like the fish. First name Susie. I wish you all a long and happy life.
Next, we have sophomore Grace KULMACZ. Grace's 5 to 8 minute selection is also cut from literature. Like Chelsea, she'll be competing in the category of prose. Today, Grace will be performing Answering 911, Life in the Hot Seat by Caroline Burrow.
Judge and timer ready?
Yes.
Thank you. Maybe you and I have already spoken, but we didn't exchange names. You probably told me yours, but mine never came up. You may have yelled at me or begged me to hurry or passed out in my ear. You may have told me something really personal, and I might remember it. Or I might not. Maybe I was there when you had your worst day ever. Maybe it was my worst day too, until the next one. You see, I don't necessarily want to know people's secrets. I just do. At one point or another, we all find ourselves crying for help, dialing the 911 digits into our phones, but not often do we know exactly who is on the receiving end of our cries. When I was 12 years old, I went on a Ferris wheel ride with my brother. As soon as we reached the top, a car hit the wheel at full speed, causing it to sway dangerously and almost topple over. Amidst the panic, several people on the ground rushed to call the police and ensure that we got to safety. Everyone ended up being okay, but we never learned the names of the people who were there to help us. In this piece, we are given an inside look at a job that goes underappreciated despite its importance, as a young, inexperienced 911 operator takes us through the ups and downs of her profession in Answering 911, Life in the Hot Seat by Caroline Burrow. Whenever people ask me how I came to be a 911 operator, I tell them it's to make sure that I am as far away from the action as physically possible. You have to admit, my end of the phone, tucked away in the dark corner of a suburban sheriff's department, is about the safest place you can be some days. It was no surprise I dropped out of nursing school when I was 19. I couldn't stand the sight of blood, but I had this idea that I liked helping people. Every day that I sit down at a console in the center, I tell myself that could be the day. That could be the day that I take a call that changes me a little bit forever. It could be that day that a bell gets rung that I can never unring. Someone could tell me something unimaginable, and I would have to imagine it. But most of the time, calls are actually pretty routine. By routine, I mean that they're routine to us. Maybe not to you, though. For example, someone broke into my car, or ugh, my neighbors are shooting off fireworks again, or my 16-year-old son is smoking pot. Bummer. You see, I am a girl with one simple goal, and even though I do often find myself wishing for something big to happen, for now I can settle with earning a paycheck and not killing anyone. I want to be liked. Helping people runs in my blood, the roots of my family tree. I come from a long line of caretakers. I myself have taken care of my cat, several goldfish, and past boyfriends. But I want to take care of people. I love the way the words sounded when they flew out of my mouth at graduation parties. It made me sound noble. I like helping people. But I'm not too good at it. It's my 5th week on the job. So far in my career here at Ramsey County, I have transferred 3 calls to the wrong ambulance services, sent animal control to an address that did not exist, and I've gained 3 pounds. Okay, 7. Every day when I get home from my shift, I sit blindly in front of the TV, the ring of the 911 phones in my ears. Sometimes the phone rings for me at home, but I would rather die than spend another minute talking. I have lost the ability to chat. People tend to assume that because I'm a 911 operator, I have tons of stories to tell, which is true, but sometimes the most interesting stories are also the saddest. Like, the other day I got a call from Joe Wilson. I start out by trying to get an address confirmed, but he starts talking about his leg. When I ask him where he is, he slurs an address, and when I ask him again, he starts talking about how he's bleeding. He said he's fallen from something. His words blur together worse each second. At this point, I'm pretty sure he's drunk. I get calls like this daily. Neither of us will remember this. By 11 p.m., I've nearly forgot about Joe Wilson. That is, until I find out that Joe Wilson was in the middle of moving day. His wife, she'd gone ahead to the new house, and he'd stayed behind at the old one. He fell off of a ladder and fractured his leg. Joe Wilson bled to death. I took that call. I talked to him. He bled to death. I freeze up and I cry. I picture a different Joe Wilson than I had before. This one, helpless and bleeding all of his energy into the grass. Not drunk as I had imagined, but delirious. Not passing out, but fading away. I imagine his wife finding him there. I was the last voice Joe Wilson ever heard. The weight of it overwhelms me. The things you can't undo get lodged in the darkest corners of your mind where nothing ever seems to get solved, just recycled into new anxiety. I don't want it! I don't want this big a role in this big a play! At the end of the shift, my boss comes up to me to tell me that he listened to the tape of the Joe Wilson call and he has no problem with how I handle things. He tells me the best thing to do is to let it go. And then the phone rings. I swallow the lump in my throat and I answer it. 911? The first thing the woman says to me is, "This is not an emergency. I'm lost. I'm supposed to be at this thing at Shepherd of the Lake Church, and I'm not from around here. I get so turned around when my husband's not with me." So I ask her where she is, and she says that there's this big gray building that says Fortis, and she can't see any street signs. So I say, "Are you on County Road B?" And she goes, yes. So I say, "Take County Road B east past Fairview, and you'll see it on your right-hand side." I can hear the relief in her voice as she says, "Oh, God bless you! God bless you, thank you so much." I hang up the phone feeling a lot more accomplished than I probably ought to, but I'm so excited. I got my first thank you and a God bless you to boot. I'm not working toward anyone's bottom line in what I do. I'm not making widgets for some CEO who has a cabin in Aspen and 6 jet skis, and I'm not waiting every 6 months to earn a raise just to see if I'm worth anything. I work for you. I work for any man or any woman who picks up the phone and calls me for help. That fact alone makes me love this job. Besides, I like helping people.
Our next performer is junior Dana Samolak, who's performing in the dramatic interpretation category. Dramatic interp is a 5 to 8 minute cut from a movie, a play, a musical, or basically any script. Dana will be performing The Princess Diaries, screenplay by Gina Wencoast, based on the book by Meg Cabot.
Judging timer ready?
Yes.
Thank you. Mia, time for school. Stop daydreaming, you'll be late. Oh, feeling confident? Now remember, when you're making your speech, don't look at the people. Pick a spot on the back wall and just don't take your eyes off of it. And speak loudly! Okay, thanks, Mom. Bye. Hey there, ho there, how do you do? This is Girl Blind saying hi to you! Lily, somebody sat on me again. I don't even know what happened. I was just sitting there working on my speech and speaking of which, ready for debate? I'm never ready for debate. Now we'll hear the rebuttal from Mia Thermopolis, who will present the negative argument against our proposition. I think that when I was a kid, I was timid and kept to myself most of the time. I didn't do any sports or extracurriculars, so you can imagine how shocked my mom was when I told her I wanted to audition for the school play. At first, I didn't believe in myself, but the minute I got on that stage, I felt confident, something I hadn't felt in a really long time. Mia Thermopolis is also a shy teenager raised by her single mother, Helen, who discovers that her father was prince of a country called Genovia. Being the next in line to the throne, Mia's grandmother, Queen Clarice, tells her that she has to rule. Though skeptical at first, Mia discovers to be true to herself and inspires us all to have a little faith. The Princess Diaries, books by Meg Cabot, screenplay by Gina Wencoast. You threw up, huh? I'm trying to forget about it. Oh, your grandmother called? The live run from Geneva. She's in town and she wants to have tea. She came all this way from Europe just to have tea? Why should I even go see the snobby lady who ignores us anyways? Mia, she's your father's mother. Just go see her tomorrow. School tours on Saturday, young lady. I'm here for a meeting with my grandmother. Oh, please come to the front door. Amelia, I'm so glad you could come. Thanks. You've got a great place. Why, thank you. Let me take a look at you. You look so young. Thanks, and you look so clean. Anyways, my mom said you wanted to talk to me about something. Yes, something that I think will have a very big impact on your life. I already had braces. And no, it's much bigger than orthodontia. Amelia, have you heard of Edward Christophe Philippe Gerard Rinaldi? He was the crown prince of Geneva. Okay, what about him? Edward Christophe Philippe Gerard Rinaldi was your father. Yeah, right. My father was Prince of Geneva. You're joking, because if he's prince, then that makes me... Exactly! I'm not just an Amelia Thermopolis. You are Amelia Mignonette Thermopolis Rinaldi, Princess of Geneva. Me? A princess? Shut up! No, I will not shut up. You are a princess. Since your father died, you are the natural heir to the throne. You can rule. Me? Rule? No. You got the wrong girl. I never led anybody. I'm no princess. I refuse to move and rule a country, and you want another reason? I don't want to be a princess! tell you when you turned 16, but then your father died and things changed. We were just trying to help you. You know what? I don't even feel protected. You tried living 15 years of your life thinking you're one person in the next 5 minutes. You're a princess! If I wasn't freak enough already, let's add a tiara. Helen, if Amelia refuses to accept the throne, then Genovia will cease to exist as we know it. Amelia, in a matter of weeks we have an annual ball, and I am hoping that I may present to you, though you are in desperate need of instruction. You know, some kids hope for a car for their birthday, not a country. Okay, now I have a thought. Now, Mia promises neither to accept nor deny your offer to be royal until this grand ball, and then she'll make her decision. Now, can you both live with that? It appears I have no option if I have to. When walking in a crowd, one is under scrutiny at all times. We don't slump like this. We drop our shoulders and think tall. And now, where is Paolo? Regina mia, buongiorno. Now, let's not waste time. Let work begin. Where is this beautiful girl? My granddaughter, Amelia. Ha! She is gorgeous. Let's take a closer look. Frizzy, busy, and quite dizzy in the best sense. Remember, in Paolo's hands, you will be beautiful. Only Paolo can take this and give you a princess. Better, much better. Mia, I'm coming. Thanks for the ride. Mia? Who destroyed you? Oh, Lily, you think it looks bad? You look ridiculous. You should sue. Listen, I know it's a little shorter and straighter and weirder. Listen, I'm not an idiot. I know something's going on and you're not telling me. Lily, wait, I'll tell you, but you're gonna think it's really stupid. Princess. Shut up! Ba-dum. Newsflash. Mia Thermopolis, local teen, is also the only grandchild of Queen Clarice Rinaldi, whose husband, King Rupert, passed away last year. This makes Mia the Princess of Genovia and the next in line to the throne. Oh, Lily, did you tell? I didn't say anything. Yeah, sure. I don't want to run a country. I just want to pass the 10th grade. Oh! Hey, Mia Thermopolis, you're a princess, right? I guess. You know, Saturday night's the big beach party, and I think it'd be really cool if we went together. Catching on the waves. Ba-dum. Newsflash. It was just last night that San Francisco's own little princess was caught partying at the beach. But what started out as innocent fun became allegedly too much fun. I embarrassed the family, didn't I? Not to put too much of a fine point on it, but yes, you did. Grandma, you're an extraordinary person, but I don't think I'm cut out to do this. Very well, then I do have a favor to ask you. I need you to formally renounce your title at tonight's grand ball. You mean make a speech? Grandma, I'm so sorry. My dear, you're first and foremost my granddaughter. My fellow Genovians, good evening and welcome to tonight's Grand Genovian Independence Day Ball. Hi, I'm Mia. Usually I'm not that great at speech making. Sometimes I run away or I faint or sometimes I even get sick, but you really didn't need to know that. I'm not so afraid anymore. Earlier this evening I had every intention of giving up my claim to the throne, and my mother helped me by telling me it was okay and by supporting me like she has my entire life. And then I wondered, how would I feel? Would I feel relieved or would I feel sad? And then I realized how many stupid times a day I use the word I, and probably all I ever do is think about myself. You see, if I were a princess, then my thoughts and the thoughts of people smarter than me would be better heard, and maybe those thoughts could be turned into actions. So this morning when I woke up, I was Mia Thermopolis.
But now I choose to forevermore be Amelia Mignonette Thermopolis Rinaldi, Princess of Genovia.
Now we have junior Caitley Schlink performing in the category of poetry, which is basically exactly what it sounds like. A 5 to 8 minute cut of poetry, whether it's one long poem or a few poems stitched together. Caitley is performing Missing Natalie by Nicole Blackman, paired with She Is Gone by David Harkins.
Judge and timer ready?
Yes.
Thank you. Most of my friends don't even know I was born a twin. She was only born 63 seconds before me. Her name was Natalie. We came here together, but Natalie left without me. We shared a room and we split it down the middle. I would put all of my stuff on my side and she would put all of her stuff on hers. One day, we decided to wallpaper the entire walls in Christmas wrapping paper and Elmer's glue. Mom wasn't too happy about that. Natalie was patient, but I was bossy. She wanted to be a gymnast, but I wanted to be an actress. But we both loved horses and we loved to draw. Sometimes we would take random foods like ketchup and cough syrup and mix them together and have someone drink it. Natalie and I would climb up the tree in our backyard and plan to build a tree house together. We planned to build ours right next to each other, for when we got older, we would visit each other when we had families of our own. Families of our own. Natalie and I came up with the names for our children and our spouses. When you have a twin, you have a shadow. Loved ones are those we keep close to our hearts. They bring joy and meaning into our lives. However, a loved one can be taken away from you as quickly as they come. We treasure the moments we're with them, for you'll never know when you get to see them again. Missing Natalie by Nicole Blackman, from her book Blood Sugar, followed by She Is Gone, a poem by David Harkins. We were in the supermarket looking for toys. Well, Mom was looking for cat food and shampoo. But then I saw this toy that I really wanted, so I leaned over the cart. Mom, can I have it? But she told me I already had so many toys and to go back and to get Natalie. I was only gone for that 1 minute. This is the part of the story where I try to tell you that your life can change forever within 63 seconds. But you already know that. On the surveillance camera, you can see Natalie walking out of the store with a man. He's not forcing her, but you don't know why she's going. She turns around and it's like she's saying goodbye. At least that's what I think. We have gone over that film hundreds of times. It is burned within my mind like a Zappator film. I could draw it for you now, with the time code on the bottom of the screen and everything. I'm 24 years old now, but Natalie is frozen forever at 9. They made me go see a child psychologist for a long time. They wanted me to draw my feelings. All right, honey, it's time for us to draw our feelings. What do your feelings look like? I wanted to strangle her, but instead I just drew them out for her so she could shut it. I used only the black markers. I drew myself, and I drew a burnt-up hole as Natalie. She analyzed the pictures and she showed them to my parents. She's having a very hard time right now. Losing Natalie has caused a sad void in her heart. Yeah, no shit. You could have asked me that and saved yourself the time. You want to know what I'm feeling? You want to know what I'm going through? Somebody stole my sister. Somebody stole my sister. How many drawings do you want me to make? It made me stop seeing the child psychologist after that. I never saw Dad cry about it, but I know he changed after it happened. He drinks alone now. He never used to do that. The police will give us a report every 3 years or so and tells us that the case is still opened. As if that helped. They try to tell us that since they never found a body, Natalie could still be alive. Yeah, right. As if there's nowhere in this world you could hide a 9-year-old body. If anyone would know she was alive, I would know. If anyone would know, I would know. But I haven't felt Natalie in a really, really long time. 4 months after her disappearance, it was our 10th birthday. I tried to convince Mom just to forget about it, but she insisted. She told us that we always had big birthdays and we had to go on with our lives. So, the day of the party, Mom and I hung up balloons and streamers, and she would try to hide it from me as if it was a surprise. So I waited. I sat and I waited. But nobody came. All the children that used to come to our birthdays now said that they couldn't. Sometimes the moms would even call and cancel on us as if abductions were suddenly contagious and they didn't want their kids to get it too. So, Mom and I just sat in the kitchen, baked a whole box of sugar cookies, and we talked about Natalie. We didn't have many birthdays after that. It just kind of became like a birthday ritual. Mom and I would bake a whole box of sugar cookies and we'd talk about Natalie for hours. That way we'd keep her close. We do it every year and Dad still doesn't know. We just want to know what happened. It's like when you're watching a scary movie and in the last 15 minutes the film suddenly breaks and they try to have everyone go home, leaving you in suspense. I just want to know what happened. Most of my friends don't even know I was born a twin. She was only born 63 seconds before me. Her name was Natalie. We came here together, but Natalie left without me. You can shed tears that she is gone, or you can smile because she has lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she will come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that she has left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see her, or you can be full of the love that you have shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You could close your eyes, cry, be empty, and turn your back, or you could do what she would want. Smile, open your eyes, love, and go on.
Our last performance of the night is from senior Grace Clark, who's performing in the dramatic interpretation category. It's worth noting that Grace has done forensics for all 4 years of high school, and we're so lucky to have someone like her dedicate so much time and hard work to the program. Tonight, Grace will be performing Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, screenplay by Michael Bacall and Edgar Wright.
Judges and timer ready?
Yes.
Thank you.
Not so long ago, in the mysterious land of Toronto, Canada, Scott Pilgrim was dating a high schooler.
Gross! His roommate told me she's 17. Scandal.
Okay, but Scott, did you guys do it yet?
Her name is Knives Chow. She's Chinese, and we've done many things. We ride the bus, we have meaningful conversations, and we play lots of NNR. Did you know the original name of Pac-Man was Puckman? It comes from the Japanese phrase paku paku, which means to flap one's mouth open and closed. They changed it when they came over here because Puckman was too easy to vandalize. Wow, I've never gone out with someone so cool. I've never even kissed a guy. Me either. 22-year-old Scott Pilgrim has not had much luck with girls, demonstrated by his questionable relationship with 17-year-old high school student Knives Chow. But when Ramona Flowers, the cool, new-in-town, actual adult girl of his dreams, skates into his life, everything is thrown out of whack. Now, we've all had an evil ex or two, or in Ramona's case, 7, and even though our relationships don't define us, sometimes we have to face the past before moving on to the future. Sometimes we have to defeat our crush's evil exes in order to win their heart. Scott faces these battles, literally, in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World by Edgar Wright and Michael Bacall. Scott goes to a party to plug his mediocre band 6-bub on, and there he meets the girl of his dreams. Hey, Scott, you getting your drink on? Hey, do you know Pac-Man? I know of him. Well, did you know Pac-Man was originally Puff-Man, but not because Bach and Pac means to like flap your mouth? Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, well, I was actually gonna ask you out, but then I realized how stupid that would be. So do you want to go out sometime? Maybe get to know each other? You're like my dream girl. You want to hang out with me? So then Scott and Ramona, you can fill in the blanks. The next day. Hey, could this not be our only date? I was thinking you could come to the first round of this Battle of the Bands thing. We're terrible. Please come. Zoom in on Scott's apartment. More so his roommate Wallace's apartment. 95% of the things here belong to Wallace, including the bed. Guess who's home? I guess Wallace. You guess right. Okay, anyway, so Sex Bob-omb went to a party last night to meet some label guys or whatever, but the girl of my dreams, she was there. I saw her. We went on a date. Then you should probably break up with your fake high school girlfriend. I've never been so sure about something. Break up with Knives. Today, okay? If you don't do it, I'm going to tell Ramona about Knives. I swear to God, Scott. All right, give it up for the crash and the boys from Brampton. Woo! Next up from Toronto, we are Sex Bob-omb. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mr. Pilgrim, it is I, Matthew Patel. Consider our fight begun. What do I do? What do I do? Fight! Well, well, well. You're quite the opponent, Pilgrim. I am Ramona's first evil ex-boyfriend. You really went out with this guy? We only kissed once, and after a week and a half, I told him to hit the showers. You'll pay for this, Flowers. K.O. Yeah, so, Scott and Sex Bob-omb both win their respective battles. Later on. So, that, I guess, if we're going to date, you may have to defeat my 7 evil exes. I have to defeat your 7 evil ex-boyfriends if we're going to continue to date. Yeah, pretty much. Where are we? Oh, it's this totally awesome castle. They're filming some movie here. We should go check it out. Wallace is stalking some actor. Action! Hey! The only thing keeping me and her apart is the 2 minutes it's gonna take to kick your ass! You dated a famous guy? Hey! I'm talking to you, Scott Pilgrim! The only thing keeping me and her apart is the 2 minutes it's gonna take to kick your ass! Prepare to feel the wrath of the League of Evil Exes! Oh, you don't know about the 7... yeah, I know, but don't worry about it, bro. Oh! Yeah, you're a pretty good actor. But are you a pretty good skater? Like, can you do a grindy thing? On that rail over there. Are you kidding? There's like 200 steps, and the rails are garbage! I mean, if it's too hardcore for you, someone get me my board. He totally bailed. Bring, bring. Break up with knives today, okay? Bring, bring. Oh, hey Knives. Do you want to talk or whatever? Oh, hey! I was actually going to invite you over for dinner. Well, to meet my parents. It's my birthday dinner. Oh, that is such a bad idea. Just really so bad. I was actually gonna say we should break up. It's just not working out. I'm not usually like this. I think the whole evil ex-boyfriends thing is really getting to my head. Exes, why do you keep saying, ah! You punched me in the boob. Prepare to die, obviously. Roxy, you and her, I was a little bi-curious. Yeah, honey, well, I'm a little bi-furious. Victory number 3, Roxy Richter goes down, followed by Todd Ingram, Evil X number 4. A set of twin X's, Ken and Kyle, Katya and Nagi, defeated in battles 5 and 6. Scott only has 1 fight left. Gideon Graves? He's an asshole. Sorry, Scott. We have to break up. I can't help myself around him. Scotty, buddy, we should really be thanking each other. I mean, if it weren't for me, you wouldn't have been with Ramona in the first place. And well, if it weren't for you, she wouldn't be back with me. So I guess it all shakes out. Chaos Theater level 7. No, Gideon, save it. You're pretentious. This club sucks. I've got beef. Let's do this. Wait, you want to fight me for her? No, I want to fight you for me. Scott, gain the power of self-respect. Level up. Ramona, are you okay? Scott! Steal my boyfriend, taste my steel. Knives, enough. No, Scott, this fat ass hurt me and I will have my revenge. No, Knives, I hurt you. I cheated on you. I cheated on both of you and I'm really sorry. And you're not a fat ass. She didn't mean that. Are we all good? Never better. Are we done with all the hugging and the learning? I thought we had a fight going on. Oh yeah, you got a fight already.